Howdy y'all. Today I'm going to do a project. This is a wood cutout and it is supposed to be a butterfly. You see that? It's a butterfly shape. I drew this on a piece of thin plywood and my husband cut this out for me. And then he drilled some little holes at the top where I'm going to put a wire because I'm going to paint this and make a sign for my mother-in-law. Now I'm looking for pictures of butterflies after the fact that I've already drawn it on a board and had my husband cut it. And as you can see, there's some right there. And I decided to go with the this look right here because my mother-in-law loves purple. So I'm going to go with that color, that design right there, and try to do something similar. Now, I don't know if I'm going to succeed, but I'm going to try. And I've already started actually when I realized I wanted to make a video of this. So this is actually the side that I'm going to use. So right now what I'm doing is I'm adding the blues that are found on the top edge of the wings, and then I'm going to add this other blue, which kind of shoots across the bottom one. So that's sort of kind of what I'm doing. It's very, very, what is the word? Rough, I guess. It's a very rough painting right now. But I hopefully will have something similar to that. Yes, I'm going to add the black accents. I think that when I've put down my paints and then I add my black detailing, then all this won't look so bad. Of course, I've got to do a lot of blending. I'm trying to add the blue. I'm trying to map out where my colors are going to be for now. So that's basically what I'm doing. And I've just got to, I don't even have a palette, like a proper palette. I have this piece of magazine that's nice and glossy. The page is kind of nice and glossy, so I can put paint on there and not have it get absorbed into it. So this is working out great. And I've got my water and I've got some paints here, and I realized I don't have any purple, but I do have this this kind of a lavender. It's called petunia purple, which is what I'm going to use for the majority of that butterfly right there. Okay, I've already shown you that enough of that, so I'm going to continue painting, and I'll show you my progress as I go along. I don't want to bore you with my brush strokes here, so I will stop here and I will return in a bit. Okay, so I'm back and I've added quite a bit of the purple on here, and I've just been kind of building layers, and I'm doing a little bit more on this side, but I'm going to go ahead and stop when I've just put one more on here, and I'm going to let it dry completely because I was trying to get this so I could get some of the colors to blend, like the blue and the purple to blend here together. Just as it looks in this picture, it blends sort of like a little bit of a gradient from the purple to the blue. And so for that, I'll do the orange at the very end. I'm not going to worry about that part. I'll just add some white on top of the colors and then add the blue, orange. Okay, so what I'm doing now is, because I didn't prime the wood, a lot of this paint is getting absorbed by the wood. So what I'm basically just doing is just adding and adding and adding paint, you know, wet paint, paint, which is getting absorbed and absorbed. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little bit more on this wing here, get a little more blending like I did over here and over here to these areas here, and I've sort of kind of worked it around here already. This is just my base, like I said, this is just my base of the colors that are eventually going to end up on the top. So I'm going to let this dry, so then I can come back and basically redo what I'm doing, but maybe in a little bit nicer way. And then add little touches of orange that are in there. And then I'll do all the black. And then after I've done the black, I'll do some highlighting with a little bit of there's a little bit of gray in there, a little bit of white, like a pale yellow, and probably more of the orange. This is what I'm going to come back and highlight it with those colors. After this is dried, of course, let it dry so it gets absorbed. And this is basically my primer. And this is going to be basically all black, so I'll worry about that till I've done my wings and I'm satisfied with them. Then I'll do this part, which is the little body of the butterfly. And the other thing I want to do is I would like to drill a couple of holes up here on the top so I can add some little curly wires for the little antenna. So I need my husband to make me a couple of small holes, kind of like those, maybe a little bit smaller. First I'll look for the wire that I'm going to use for that, and then I'll have him do that. But this is where I'm at so far, and I think it looks pretty good. Now, I wanted to put like welcome to my garden or something like that. So I think also before I do paint this black on there, I'm going to decide if I'm going to add some lettering, because it might be harder to get the paint to. Well, no, actually, I probably won't if I let it dry completely. I just don't want to ruin this after I've completely finished it, and then try, do some lettering on there, and then realize, oh my gosh, my lettering looks all crooked, because I free draw everything. I don't use any patterns or stencils or anything like that. As you can see by my work so far, this is obviously not a pattern or a stencil. It's obviously just me free drawing, whatever. Anyway, so I'm going to think about that really good, or maybe what I'll do is I'll have my husband cut me like another piece of, I have one here actually, maybe I don't even have to have, this is what's holding my, I'm reaching under it, sorry, butterfly, don't mean to, well, grope you like that. Anyway, I have a little piece of wood here. What I was first thinking, and I just realized something right now, but what I was first thinking, because I'm going to go ahead and finish that thought, is have a piece of wood like maybe 3-4 inches wide all the way across like that, putting welcome on there, and then adhering that to the front of the butterfly. But now that I think about it, why hide if I'm going to do all that painting? And unless I do a crappy job of painting it, then maybe I will do that. But maybe I could just hang it at the bottom, and it could say welcome to my garden. I want to like drill little holes here, right? And then some little holes here, and put wire to hang, so it's hanging from it, so it's really like a large, like a larger sign. But maybe this not so wide, maybe less, maybe the same as I said before, 3 to 4 inches, or maybe even 5 inches wide, and just, welcome to my garden, or just welcome on there. What should I do? I guess you'll find out if I do or not, or what, when I'm actually done with this, because I don't want to put a piece of wood over the butterfly if it comes out really pretty. Now, unless it doesn't really come out all that pretty, then I will. Well, I'll turn it around and paint on the other side instead. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to finish that, as I said, before it completely dries on me. And then I'm going to let it completely dry. And then you'll see me back. So hang on. Okay, so here you can see what I've done so far, and as you can see, it's a little more blended, and I've gone ahead and I painted over. I let it dry like I said before, and then I've painted again. And basically what I've just done is the purple that's in here, I've laid that down first so that you don't see a lot of the wood underneath it. I don't mind if some of the wood grain shows. That makes it look kind of pretty. And then what I've done is I've now taken the dark blue that I have, and I've gone over like the edges up here, and then what would be the edge of that wing, somewhere here in the middle, here and here. I just highlighted the areas that I really want to be blue. I didn't do this here because I want this to be a little more lavender. I started doing this and I got a little carried away, and then I realized that's too much blue on that bottom area. I want it to be more like this. So that's what I'm going to be working on, is to blend this part so that it's, and sorry about the lighting, it's getting really dark outside, and I'm in my craft room and I don't have the proper lighting because we've put in a new ceiling fan, and the ceiling fan turns out to have this little tiny little light bulb. So I have this task lamp here, which is not really helping. It's great if I had it right here, right in front, but I'm trying to light up the whole thing and it's just not working. So basically now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to blend in this part here so it's not so blue. And I kind of have to edit myself because I tend to brush, over brush. And then I never really get to where I want to go, or at least I don't allow myself for this to completely dry. So I end up adding, you know, colors where I didn't want to add blue, like I just did right now because my brush isn't completely clean. But here we go. I'm just going to add a little bit more right here just to kind of even it out. it doesn't have to be perfectly even. I think you can tell a little bit better. Let me turn my butterfly around. I can't lift it up because I don't want to lose that light that's shining on it, but here you can see that the two sides are a little bit, well, not too much, but they're looking a little bit more like each other. Obviously, I'm not going to get it to be even or, you know, perfect, so I have to basically edit my thoughts, what my eye is seeing, to what my hand can only do. So that's where I'm at now, and I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to paint the body black, and then I'm going to go ahead and start deciding where these, see the black lines? Let this focus. There we go. See the black lines on the butterfly, the outlinings? It's like there's two smaller wings coming out, and then some little lines here and there, just that big little circle there, and then these lines coming out, and then at the bottom also. I'm going to do all of that on top of all this blending, so some of the blue will escape into some of the purple areas like it is in here. Obviously, I did my wing differently than what was highlighted here. This is a little more, you know, like open and splotchy, and mine is more lines. I don't know if I'm going to try and get that effect, or just go with what I have, because I don't want to be here brushing, paint over paint. As you can see, some parts you can still kind of see the wood, because like I said, I need to let it dry completely before I put more paint, because all I'm doing is just dragging paint off when I don't allow the other layers to dry. So I need to let that dry again, once again, let it dry completely, then come back and do some more work on this. Hello, this is the next day, and I let it dry overnight before I came back to it. I've painted in this black part here, as you can see, and I've got a little bit on there, but that's okay because I can redo some of my spots. Now, what I want to do next, I do want to cover this part here because the wood is just showing right through. And now that everything's dry, I can lay, this is basically my primer on here is what this is doing. So I'm going to add actually a little bit more color to, some more highlights to the wings and such. What I do first is I want to pencil in where my veins of the wings of the butterfly are going to go. As you can see here in this picture, which I want to sort of mimic. Obviously, it's not going to be the same because this has some little extra little things here at the bottom, and we didn't cut our butterfly shape to mimic that. I found this after the fact. I had already cut it. So anyway, but these little black lines that circle and oval and come out like that, little parts of the wings. Here, there we go. Little parts of the wing. That's what I'm going to outline with a pencil. So I'm just going to take my number 2 pencil and just kind of draw out like the first loop that you kind of see on there, and then try to mimic that on the other side. And then from here, I am going to go and then draw out more lines, like so, coming from sort of from this point here, like that. And it's not going to look exactly like the one in the picture. And there's another one that sort of does this. Now on the edges, in the black, it kind of does a little loop-de-loop-de-loop. So that's what I want to do also, so that I can just go like this on each one. And then I'm going to go in and paint all this, you know, black. And I'm going to do that with a pencil so you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing here. Let me look over the camera and not in the camera so I can do the rest of these. And I don't have to make as many as are in the picture. I'm doing my own interpretation, is basically, of a butterfly. Okay, and then all this is going to get painted black. Oops, there goes my picture. There we go. Get it back on here. Okay, and then all this is going to get painted black, as well as all this. So there you see. I don't know if you can see it that well, but let me try to. There we go, where there's no glare. As you can see, there's my little loopies where I'm going to paint it black, and it's blurring again. Okay, so now I'm going to repeat that on this side, and then of course I want to do the ones that are at the bottom. And of course, this is a different design, so I'm just going to kind of make my own thing here at the bottom. And then I'll show you those pencil lines in just a bit. Okay, I'm back, and I've done the pencil lines that you saw me do there, and I did some on the other side, tried to mimic, and then I did some at the bottom here. I just did, you know, some random lines and a little circle in the middle because I see sort of something on that one in the middle. So that's basically what I'm doing. And I'll probably, as I layer my colors, now I'll probably end up maybe doing even smaller little bits. I don't know. And then I'll end up highlighting at the very end. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and start filling in, like right here, the blue, a little bit more of the lavender in here. And then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to outline it with all the black along the little edges and little loopy loops like that. And then of course along the middle of each of the separations and the wing, or the little veins, or whatever you want to call those. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I will go in and add like the orange that's on there. I like that orange and kind of a yellowy, grayish colors, and do some details in the body also. And I'll show you this as I go along. All right, so what I'm doing, and I'll show you here. Turn this around. It's right in this area here. What I'm doing is I'm taking a little bit of the blue, and I'm going around the inside edge of, you know, one of these little panels on the wing. I don't know what to call it. Little section of the wing here, and adding a little bit of the dark blue, and then in the middle I'm adding the purple lavender that I'm using, and I'm sort of kind of blending it into that blue. And remember, I'm going to go over the edges and all this over here over again, so I don't worry about the paint going in there. So I'm just giving it that kind of a look, just blending it in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to the, all the sections here. Let me just pick one here to begin with here. And I'm going to go on the inside of it. I'm going to pick up a little bit of water in my paint. Okay. Go ahead inside the little edge here. And then again on this other side. Let's just blend it in like so. And then tap that off. I'm going to take some of this lavender and add that to it. And as you can see, it picks up a little bit of the blue. That's what I want. I'm going to drag it out into here because remember, I'm going to paint this black. So, and then remember, there's going to be a little edge there that's going to be black. So this is what I'm doing. So I have that kind of a look here where it's bluish on the little edges, but then it gets lavender as you go in. And now I'm going to go ahead and do it for the rest of these little, and then I'm going to do it on this side. And then I'll show you that look at the end. Alright, I am getting so tired trying to make this look the same on each side, and I can't quite get it. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, and I'm going to do my black outlines around everything so then I can see it a little bit better, or maybe just continue on tomorrow in some daylight rather than doing this in the evening, because I don't know, maybe my eyes are just tired. I can't quite get these two to match. I mean, it's so simple. Add more blue on the top, but somehow my mind keeps grabbing the lavender. Okay, so I'm just going to do some outlining so it'll dry up, and then I can do a better job tomorrow. And then I'll keep doing this and show you what I do next. So I've done all the black outlining, and I made a few little mistakes, but that's okay. I'm going to let all this black dry completely, and I'm going to come back tomorrow during the day to actually finish this off so I have a little bit better light in here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to let this black dry, and then I'll come back and retouch it tomorrow and add all the little highlights and all the pretty colors. But as you can see, it's already looking really pretty. You know, it doesn't really match. Like, this does a little bit of a curving here where it doesn't do that over here. But that's okay. I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm not going to try to fix... I fixed this little bit because it was going way too far down here when it needed to be a little bit higher to meet up with this line. So this top one actually ended up being a little different. Over here I have a smaller space than I do over here. I I really don't want to fix that. I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm just going to highlight here and there, and then I'll redo my black lines once I've fixed my little mistakes or my little obvious parts that don't look nice. And see how this side's a little more lavendery than this side, so I have to add a little more lavender. So that's okay that I made that mistake, because I'm obviously going to have to make it match this side as much as I can. Not too much. I'm not going to fret over it. And then I'll do some more little details, some little coloring in here and so forth. But that's what I've got so far. It looks really pretty, I think. And I'll be back. Alright, so here we're back, and I've done some additional painting, and I skipped a few things to record, so I'll catch up on it. What I've done is I've gone ahead and I've painted in more of the lavender and the blue to the point where I am satisfied with the amount of coats that I have. I tried to even things out a little bit. I'm adding some little bit of different tones to it. As you can see, this blue here and so forth are different from the other blues. And then I've added the orange where I've thought it should go, or where it looks pretty. And I am also, I did a little bit of yellow in there to highlight it. And now I'm using a little bit of the purple with some white to create a very light lavender. So what I'm doing is I'm highlighting, and I'm just doing little lines like so, just straight like that on each of these little wing sections, like that. One on this one, and then one on that one. Okay, so sort of kind of balances it out. And then I've highlighted the center of the body of the butterfly, and I still haven't quite decided what I'm going to do, how I'm going to finish that off. But I'm thinking that I want to add some little light up there, maybe some of the orange and some of the yellow. And I think I'm going to maybe dot some little yellow bits here and there. And then I'll show you where I'm at. And here we go. I've done a lot of touch-ups. I've done the black outlining all over again. And then I've done some little yellow dots here and there. Here we go.
I said, Frank, do you realize how lucky you are? You had a phone. I didn't have a phone in school. Your mom didn't have a phone in school.
And that's it. Sorry about the audio. I'm watching something. And what do you think? I think it looks pretty. Let me know what you think on the bottom of the comments. And please like my video. And also please subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed this.